Are you staring at an outlet that suddenly stopped working and wondering if it's dead, dangerous, or just pretending to be broken? Maybe a lamp won't turn on, a charger feels unreliable, or half the outlets in a room have mysteriously gone quiet. Before you call an electrician or start guessing, there's one simple tool that can give you clear answers in minutes: a multimeter. Today, I'm going to walk you step by step through exactly how to use a multimeter to test an outlet, even if you've never touched one before. A standard household outlet carries enough voltage to seriously hurt you if you're careless. Before we even touch the outlet, let's talk safety. Wearing insulated gloves is a smart move, especially if you're new to this. They add a layer of protection in case your hand slips or a probe touches something it shouldn't. A standard outlet may look simple, but it has a specific design. There are 3 slots. One is slightly taller than the other. That taller slot is neutral. The shorter slot is hot. The round hole is ground. Each one has a job. The hot wire delivers voltage. The neutral wire carries current back. The ground is a safety path designed to protect you if something goes wrong. Now grab your multimeter and take a look at the dial. This is where beginners often make their first mistake. You must set the meter to measure AC voltage. Household outlets use alternating current, not direct current. If your meter is set to DC voltage and you test an outlet, you can damage the meter. Look for the symbol that represents AC voltage. It usually looks like a V with a wavy line. That means it will automatically choose the correct voltage range. If it doesn't, set the range higher than what you expect. For a typical outlet, that means selecting a range above 120 volts. Next, let's talk about the probes. Plug the black probe into the port labeled COM. That stands for common. Do not put the red probe into the current or amp port. That port is for a completely different type of measurement and can damage the meter if used incorrectly with an outlet. The red probe goes into the port labeled V or V omega. Make sure both probes are pushed in firmly. Now let's talk about something very important that most tutorials completely ignore. Modern outlets are not the same as older ones. These outlets have small spring-loaded safety shutters inside the slots. They prevent foreign objects like paper clips, nails, fingers, or multimeter probes from being pushed into a single slot. Because of this design, you cannot insert a single multimeter probe into just the hot or just the neutral slot. If you try, the shutter will stay closed and the probe will not go in. This is not a defect. It's a safety feature especially designed to protect children. So when testing a modern outlet with a multimeter, you must insert both probes into the neutral and hot slots simultaneously. Insert one probe into the taller slot and the other probe into the shorter slot. It does not matter which probe goes into which slot for this test because AC voltage does not have polarity like DC does. Just make sure you're holding the insulated part of the probes and not touching the metal tips. Once the probes are in place, look at the screen. This number tells you the voltage between hot and neutral. In a healthy outlet, you should see a reading somewhere between 110 and 130 volts. That range is normal. If the reading is 0 or extremely low, the outlet is not supplying power. If the reading is significantly higher or unstable, that's a red flag and should be investigated further. Now let's talk about common mistakes people make. One very common mistake is assuming the outlet is bad when the probes won't go in. With tamper-resistant outlets, this is normal behavior. People often push harder on one probe, twist it, or try to angle it into the slot. This not only fails to open the internal shutters, but it can also damage the outlet or cause the probe to slip. The correct approach is always inserting both probes at the same time, straight in with even pressure. Another mistake when testing an outlet is how the probes are held. Near the metal tip, you'll notice a raised ridge or guard before the insulated handle begins. Your grip should always stay behind that guard. If the probe slips or shifts, your finger can make contact with the metal tip instantly. Another mistake is leaving the multimeter set to the wrong measurement mode. If the selector is still on resistance, continuity, or DC voltage, the reading will be meaningless or may not display at all. Always double check that the dial is set to AC voltage before inserting the probes. If you're new to this and feel overwhelmed, there's nothing wrong with using an outlet tester instead. An outlet tester plugs directly into the socket and uses indicator lights to show common wiring problems. It's faster and simpler, but it doesn't give you detailed voltage readings like a multimeter does. Think of an outlet tester as a quick check and a multimeter as a diagnostic tool. It's also important to understand that outlets do not operate the same way everywhere in the world. The testing method with a multimeter is similar, but the voltage values you expect to see are very different depending on where you live. Misunderstanding this is a common source of confusion, especially when people follow tutorials made for another country. In the United States, Canada, and a few other regions, standard household outlets typically supply 110 to 120 volts AC. When you test a properly working outlet in these countries, your multimeter should display a value in that range. In most of Europe, as well as many other parts of the world, household outlets operate at a much higher voltage, usually 220 to 240 volts AC. Because of this difference, it's critical to know your local voltage standard before testing. With a little practice, you'll be testing outlets confidently and safely in just a few minutes. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing for more electronics tips and tutorials, and hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.